You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. Take care of you. Take care of you. You on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you.
Hello everybody. I hope you all have been having a wonderful week. I've had an exciting week. Notion API is finally out. I have no idea if you haven't heard the news yet, but this is crazy. We have been waiting for this for, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months. I'm sure people have been waiting longer, but for me, it's been a long time, and I'm so excited to finally show you guys exactly how to use the Notion API, how it's going to help you transform your workflow in Notion, how we use it as a community in the CoX3 family, and hopefully how you can use it too. So I'm super excited. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me well, loud and clear. Today is going to be a very collaborative live stream. I want to hear all about what you're going to build today because I want to help you build your workflows together with us. It's a very collaborative Friday Live build. If you're new here, what we do is that every single week we find a new thing to build, a new system to build, a new system to explore. Usually it's about Notion. Right now, I think 99% of our content is about Notion, but really it's just a good opportunity for us to show you how we build a system step by step from 0 to 1, and hopefully to show you how you can learn how to upgrade your skills and master your talents, right? And your skill set with tools like Notion. So excited to see you guys, excited to chat. Let's jump right into it. And the first thing that I like to do as usual is to talk about the why, what, and hows. If you guys have already been following us, I think on episode 38, I believe, we had a very brief live stream on how to use the unofficial Notion API with a tool called Notion Automations. Now, with the official Notion public beta, you do not need to use that tool anymore for the most basic functions of connecting to the API. I just want to make that very clear. With the current Notion API, you do not need Notion Automations anymore. However, if you do want more advanced features of how to connect using the API, there are going to be other tools coming out, I'm sure, that are going to enhance the functionality. I will be talking about this in today's stream, so don't worry, I'll explain to you what's the differences of using the native Notion API versus connecting to something like, Notion Automations or whatever tool comes out in the future. Like, what's the pros, what's the cons, what is the current API missing? So let's talk about what we have today. And by the way, hi guys, shout out to Seb in the chat who shared us on Facebook. Thank you very much. Shout out to Mikkel. I hope I'm saying your name right. Alyssa for sure. Thank you for joining. And definitely it would be a very instructive live stream today. So do keep your notions up, keep your chats open. Let's talk about it. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. I'm here to help. And I'm just very excited about today. So let's keep the energy up, guys. Okay. So as we discussed previously, why do we want to use the Notion API? What's important about it? Why do we care? So the answer is we might have a lot of workflows that involve other applications, and thus we want to be able to synchronize our actions that occur on all these different platforms. So for example, if we have something happening on Google Calendar, right, we have new events being scheduled, we might also want them to be created as tasks inside our task manager so that we can, keep track of all the different things that we're doing every single day. So we have automations that could save us a lot of time if the actions we're taking in one platform could effectively have an effect on another. So if we have a new email coming in that says, hey, we need to do this job, we need to do this work, someone's waiting for a response, what if that could sync to your task manager, right? And automatically create something new? Or let's say you have a reading list, right? Many of you guys use Goodreads or other different apps that allow you to keep track of different readings. Maybe you have a Twitter person that you like to follow a lot, and every time they tweet, you'd like to have that automatically being saved to a Notion database. Like, these are things that could save you a lot of time, but if you do that on a manual basis, it's something that you could definitely automate, and something that would save you a lot of effort, right? And make sure that things happen, immediately. So that's something really helpful. And finally, it's something to optimize our time and reduce time spent switching apps and tasks, because as you guys all know, context switching is super difficult. It wastes a lot of time. It makes you less productive. And if anything, we care about being more productive and at least being more efficient with our time. I think time is better spent if we make the most of it. So I mentioned that there's a few very common use cases that we like to use. So I will talk about them. Actually, I might reorder them just for you guys to see what I prefer the most. So the first one I prefer is the Google Calendar integration with the Success Plan. So for us, that's just our task manager that we use inside our system, inside one of our L Control or Be Intentional series. Basically, it's just how do we make something that happens Google Calendar, whether it's a meeting with a partner, with a friend, with a colleague, whatever work or personal integration you might want to use. How do we make that into a Success Plan item, a task item for you to check off? And in our case, because we actually have integration with the gamification project, the whole idea is that when we complete a meeting with someone, that should also earn us experience points and gold rewards. And that's something that we like to do. The second thing is the email integration with our inbox or Success Plan. Again, it's either a task manager or being able to just easily store anything that you need to work on, very simple, very easily in Notion. So the moment that you have an email coming in and you decide that this is an email that you want to take action on, and it's going to take you more than 30 minutes or an hour, then perhaps you'd like to schedule that in Notion to work on within one of your time blocks. And we'll talk about that today as well. The last one is something that I'm personally very passionate about. I like having something called My Network, which is a personal CRM. Just helps me get in touch with my people I care about a lot better, makes me more intentional about the way I interact with them. I can keep track of meaningful conversations. I can keep track of all the times we talked recently, what they care about, their motivations, their goals in life, just really being more in tune with really why they're here and where they're trying to go, and hopefully be a better friend with that kind of intentionality. So with that, I like to be able to connect Google Contacts into my network so that I'm able to have the contacts within my Notion database, but at the same time also have that contact within my Google Calendar, so I can easily call them and be able to contact them through my normal phone usage. Now, there is going to be generally two types of usages of Notion, okay? I want to just make sure you guys are very clear about that, because there are basically only two ways, right? You're either bringing in data from different tools or apps, which will help you create or update existing records, right? Or you're sending out data to different tools and apps. So as of today, though, for the Notion public beta API, you can only send out data upon creation of records. So you're not able to let's say, hey, based on this specific record or this specific database, if any task, for example, switch from status from in progress to complete, please send out data. Currently impossible, and that's why I mentioned it might be useful to explore other tools in the future that may create this workflow and make this workflow available. But right now, not available, okay? So what you can only do is be able to create or update existing records when you bring in data from different tools, again, like Google Calendar, email, Google Contacts. But I want to see what specific tools that you guys use that you guys want to connect. I've heard people say like Todoist, people have used Todoist, people maybe use Airtable, people might use other productivity apps and they want to connect them. Even ClickUp, right? ClickUp might be something that you want to use. So let me know in the chat what you guys want to use, because really, I want to help you cover all of them. I want to give you the right answers about, hey, if I'm using X app, which tool should I use, right? Because right now, there are two ways that you can connect to the Notion API as someone who does not know how to code. And as always, I like to present ideas about that are no code friendly, because a lot of people don't know how to code, and it's okay, because we actually have so many tools available to us today that we're able to connect to the API service at Notion without even having to know how to code. We're simply using tools that already are available, and the most importantly are free. So the big question, should I use Zapier or Automate? Okay, this is the biggest question that everyone's going to ask me. Should I use Zapier or Automate? And I'm just going to make this on its own page so that I'm just very targeted and talk about this. Okay, so Zapier and Automate both have free plans. Okay, so if you guys are on the free plan, totally free, there is no strings attached. You can use it however you like. However, there's just going to be limitations on how much you can use Zapier or Automate, okay? So for the Zapier, you have 100 tasks a month, and each task is considered to be basically every time a step is taken in Zapier, that is one task. So if I create one Google Calendar event and then I send that to Notion, that is one task, okay? You can have 5 active bots at a time in Zapier versus an Automate, just to do a comparison, can do 300 tasks a month. Again, 5 active bots. The thing about Zapier, which I personally think it's a shame, is that on their free plan, they only have single step workflows, which means that if I get a Google Calendar event popping up again, and I want to have it connect to Notion, that is one step. But let's say I want something a bit more complex, right? Let's say on top of adding to my Notion workspace, I also want to send an email to myself saying that, hey, this got added to my Notion workspace. Or let's say I wanted to perhaps also add it to another productivity app. I don't know, right? But there's multiple different scenarios that I may even walk through today that you might have multi-step workflows. And for those situations, if you want to stay in the free plan, you want to do it on Automate, because Automate has that availability. And then the next upgrade is going to be $29.99 per month for Zapier for 750 tasks, 20 bots. And for Automate, the next upgrade is $9.99 a month for 300 tasks, 10 bots. So basically, the the answer, if you want a short and easy answer, is if you want more connections but more costly, you go to Zapier, right? If you want less connections but more affordable, you want to go to Automate. So generally, Zapier has more of the business-oriented tool connections, whereas Automate right now they're building up their database. So I think they also have a lot of things that you can do, but in general, you would have less connections. But I think it's just an easier starting point, I think, for any beginners using this API integration. Automate, is a no-brainer for me because you have 3 times the task on the free plan, and multi-step workflow. So if you want my opinion, Automate is definitely one of the easier ones to start off with. But if you are business focused and you have a lot of tasks that you want to do, Zapier is definitely a really good option as well. They're both pretty good. Okay, so Alyssa's in the chat saying that I need that integration. I love to use Google Calendar, but I hate tracking and re-inputting, and hope I can dumb this down to, which is novice, and 100%, we can do that today. The whole point is, my favorite thing to say is I don't want to duplicate any of my efforts. Hopefully everything I do is one time and then it becomes reoccurring, right? And today with the API, ideally we can get that to be accomplished. So remember what I told you guys? I want you guys to tell me what tools you use. I really want you guys to let me know in the chat. Just go there, chat, type something out. Don't be shy, but let me know what connections that you care about, because if I don't know what connections you care about, I can't show you how it works. So it's really important if you let me know what connections you care about, I can at least go in and give you an idea of how it works so you can try out for yourself. Of course, the things I'll be teaching in today will be, general enough that you can apply it. I'm trying to teach you first principles. So, hey, go here, connect this, do that. And ideally, the process should be very similar, if not the exact same, between all the other tools that you use. But of course, it'll be very helpful for me to at least tell you, hey, I use this tool, and I can say, hey, Zapier has it, or Automate has it, or maybe both has it, which in this case, for most of the major tools, both have it as well. So very important stuff. And let's get straight into it. I'll teach you exactly how it works. So first of all, I'll give you guys a little of time. Make an account on either automate.io or Zapier. So I will put the link into the chat if you guys need it, just in case you don't accidentally go to the wrong app maybe. So it's either zapier.com or automate.io. And I'm going to show you the same workflow on both, okay? So you don't have to worry. I will show you guys the same workflow on both tools. So if you go with either one, just know that I will give you a very good example on both, okay? So again, make an account, it's free. Just sign up with your email, get that verification email in your inbox. I'm gonna take a sip of water, and then hopefully by the time I'm back, you guys are ready and available. So just let us know in the chat when you already have the accounts ready, and then we can get started, all right? So Alyssa, you want to use Slack. That's also very interesting. So Slack notifications, what do you currently use Slack notifications for? Like, what kind of notifications do you like using for Slack? And then Mikkel is wondering if he can use his Instagram insights automated to my database. That's awesome. That's super cool. So let's type that out at least as well while everyone is setting up their Automates or Zapier. So let's see, Instagram, we can investigate that. Slack, we can also check that out. I'm almost certain Slack has Zapier and Automate. I'm not sure about Instagram yet though, so that we'll research that as well. Let's see what Instagram looks like as well. But keep it up, keep going. It'll be very exciting to see. And actually, I might even do something here. I'm saying suggested by, and then we can give some credits to you guys. So these ones were me to start, but then this one is Mikkel, awesome, and then this one is Alyssa. Sephra wants to use Google Assistant to add items to my to-do list. That is awesome. I will show you how that one works because I personally use that. So I will show you how Google Assistant works. That's actually very nice. So Google Assistant, right? Google Assistant. I'm not familiar with how Siri and the other tools work, so I'm not sure if I can show that one. But Google Assistant, I'm definitely super excited to show that. I'm wondering if I have time for that today. I may not. So I'm going to set expectations. I may not be able to show Google Assistant, but I know how to do it, and I will perhaps write something on it if I can't cover it today, okay? So that's from Sephra. Thank you, Sephra, for giving us that feedback. Awesome. Sev, let's see. Sev has Discord. Discord is another option for Sev. Perfect. And I know Discord you can definitely do as well. So I'll check them off once I am confirmed like which tool can use them. So that's pretty good. For Alyssa, she asked a question. I don't get to choose the notifications like every update. Okay, yes. So Alyssa, with this, you'll be able to choose exactly which database you want to see updates for. But the issue, Alyssa, I think that I'll cover later on as well when I start building is right now with the current Notion API, you can only have new created items update to you. So not when things change in status. So I personally don't use the Slack integration, so maybe you have to educate me on this as well. But right now, the workflow I can imagine is if I create a new item in Notion, Slack will give me a notification only for specific databases. So I will show you the end-to-end of how to connect your Notion workspace to these tools as well. So you'll be able to see how that works. But anyway, guys, I hope by this moment you have already created your automate.io or Zapier.com accounts. Again, as I mentioned, I will walk you guys through exactly how this works, exactly how you're going to be able to connect to your databases. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. And the first thing that you want to do is actually figure out what integration that you want to build. So let's start with Google Calendar. I think Google Calendar is the simplest one. We're going to be showing you basically the step one. So we're going to be bringing in data from Google Calendar and then creating or updating an existing record. Okay, so we're going to show you how that one works. So if I go to, let's start with Automate. Last time we started with Zapier, so I think equal opportunity. Let's start with Automate first. So if I create a bot, right, you have a create a bot right here. If you go to bots first, create a bot. Click on that, and then you can basically choose your different apps that you can connect to. So I'm going to type Google Calendar. Okay, so that's Google Calendar. I'm going to start here, Google Calendar. And then you're going to get a pop-up. I hope I can show you guys the pop-up. I will have to hide it, of course, if it gets anything that's very sensitive. I am using all demo test accounts, but I am still trying to be careful on that. But let me just try this. So I'm going to also create a new window. Just want to make sure I'm capturing it correctly. And then this one should be automate.io. Maybe I can do the second one. Let's see. Okay, this is not working. I am going to show up a pop-up. There we go. And then this is going to show me this. Perfect. So I'm going to make this smaller, perhaps, or I'll at least drag it to the side. But basically, I just want to show you like how the pop-up looks like. So when you click on the Google Calendar, basically you have a pop-up that shows you, do you want to authorize this or not? So I'm going to say authorize, and then it's going to ask me to sign in. Again, I'm using a test account. So actually, let me just make this smaller and drag it up. So basically, it's going to ask me, I'm going to use my test account right here. I'm going to click on this, and it's going to ask you if you want to allow automates.io to see, edit, share everything about your calendars. You want to say yes to this. Again, when you first get this message, you might be scared. It's like, whoa, what is this thing? Why is it asking me for so much data? So one thing that you'll have to know is that if you're going to be using these tools to help you connect to Notion, and it's going to be the same for every tool, by the way, no matter if you build your own kind of API, which most of us won't do that, or if you connect using one of these tools that I'm mentioning, it's always going to need all your data, all your access, and it's simply because it needs that access to be able to send this information to Notion. And of course, if you feel a bit iffy about this, one thing I do like to practice is perhaps segregating, right? This is your account for Google Calendars that you want to share with Notion. So therefore, this is an okay integration for you to share that with Automate.io or Zapier, but I just want to let you know that this is entirely safe, at least for what I know. Zapier and Automate hasn't had many data leaks, if at all, data leaks yet, so should be okay. Yeah, but anyway, just want to let you know that's what it's going to look like. You're going to press allow. Once you press allow, this is going to close. So I just want to show you, it's going to say save or not. I'm saying, yeah, I can save that. Perfect. Great. So then what's going to happen is I'm going to essentially see that there is these options I have. So Google Calendar has many different triggers. So it's either when I have an event added, event started, even event modified, event deleted, or even a new event that matches a specific filter. I want to say, okay, when a new work event happens, when a new personal event happens, a new dinner happens, whatever events I want, I can trigger. I'm going to keep it simple today. I'm just going to say when a new event is added, and only when it's added from my calendar, and I'm going to say this is my test calendar, then I want it to do something. So there's a lot of things that can happen, right? You have your event summary, your event description, everything that can be the outputs, and basically you can check like whichever information you want to pass into Notion, right? Whether it's your event description, your location, your summary, like what is the thing that you want to pass in Notion that you want to really have captured in your task manager for the example that we're doing. So I'm going to select my action app, and in here I'm going to do Notion, right? Because Notion has this connection, and this is where it's going to get really important because I'm going to teach you exactly how to connect to Notion, and it's really simple. It takes less than 5 minutes, right? Takes actually almost 30 seconds for the setup, which is super nice, and you don't have to set it up again. I just want to show you how that works. So I'm going to press Notion. And again, when I press Notion, I'm going to get a pop-up. So let me show you guys that pop-up as well. So that pop-up is something that's going to be important. I'm going to show this. Oop. Let's see, where is it? Automate.io. It's not showing me that. A quick second. I don't want to accidentally show the wrong thing. So let's see. That's not showing me. Okay, but just imagine that it's going to ask me to authorize Notion as well. And basically, it's going to show me. Okay, actually, I do want to show you guys this. Okay, wait, let me try reopening it again. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to press Notion. Let's see. I want to show you guys this pop-up. Perfect. Okay, so it's going to ask me to connect to Notion. I'm going to press authorize. Okay. And for Automate.io, it's going to show you all your workspaces. So I'm going to go into this example workspace. As I mentioned, I am showing you all on example data. And it's going to ask you, again, Automate wants to access this workspace. You're going to be able to view and edit certain pages, add new pages, etc., etc. Again, totally safe. Just press start. So right now I can start here, and I can say that I want to connect only to specific pages. So for me, I'm going to connect into my whole one of the workspaces that I have, which is Systems for a Better Life. It's just our L Control, Be Intentional series, gamification series, all in one. I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to click Allow Access. Okay. And when I click Allow Access, it's going to say authentication successful, amazing, and then I can just shut it off and press save. Okay. So when I press save, it's going to give me a lot of options. I can either add an item into the page, add page contents into the page, which is awesome as well. I can update an item, search item. I can do a lot of things. So for this very simple first beginner integration, I'm going to show you how you can add an item to your page. Okay, I'm going to show you add an item, and then to the database. So again, it's connected to my whole database. So I see everything. I see everything here. But what I want is the success plan. And I will show you guys how that looks on the other side of my system. So try loading more. Let's see. Success plan. Let's see what's happening. There's a lot of databases here. So let's see. So I'm going to do it in parallel for the Zapier one as well, because I think the Zapier one has a very interesting, different workflow as well. But before I jump there, I do want to show you how this connects. So hear me out. So for the automate.io, so what we have to do is we want to go into here and we want to go into the system that we want to connect. So for example, let me go into my Make Life Simple dashboard on this workspace. And then I'm going to go into my my success plan, which is just right here. It does look a bit complicated right now. Trust me, it gets easier. But basically, this is the success plan. This is what we want to connect to. So I'm going to navigate to the original database. I'm going to click on that link. And basically, I can go to the share button on the top right. And then I can see that the automate.io has an integration that it can edit this page specifically. So basically, I'm double checking that Automate has access to this page. And why this step is important, I'm also going to be very specific, is that on Zapier, you will also need to make sure you have this connection. So very important stuff, okay? So I'm going to go to automate.io. Again, I should be able to see the database here. If not, I need to find it. I think maybe the easiest way to find it would maybe to be use this URL. I'm just curious. I'm not sure what's the easiest way to find it in this list, because right now okay, there we go. I can just scroll down here. I think it's just taking some time to load everything. So that's fine. Let's just keep loading it up and see when it loads in. Okay, so I'm looking for success plan. Let's see how hard it is to find. Success plan, SUCC. It's very interesting, actually. This is very different from the way that the Zapier one works. So it's not so easy to immediately find. What I might recommend then is I might even recommend connecting to a very specific page instead of the entire workspace, right? So that you don't have to see every single database in here and make it so hard for you to find. Because right now I am not able to actually find like that exact database that I want, which is very, very interesting and actually quite frustrating. So let me see if I can change the Notion connection. So I'm also going to show you how to troubleshoot these things, right? If I go through. So let me go in here. I'm going to reconnect to my Notion workspace. I'm going to see if there's an opportunity for me to be able to select a very specific page. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to share that with you as well so you guys can see. I'm going to just connect and then reconnect to this. Oop, that didn't work. Gotta show calculator. Gotta show. Very annoying. Okay, it's fine. I'll show you guys. Let me just double check this, because I know that right now I'm able to actually allow access to the entire workspace. So let's save that. Okay, and then let's go back to this. Let's see what pages it has access to. So automate.io has access to everything, which is fine. But I'm trying to make sure that it has access to success plan. So let's see that again. I'm going to refresh this page. And someone has a question, is how to integrate to build embedded charts in Notion. I don't know exactly which tool would be available for that. I'm not exactly sure right now, but I will take a look after this, and then let's see which one works, okay? So let's see how Notion works now. Add item to page. Let's see if this database has a better connection now. Well, now that I've done that. All right. So that's not working so well. Okay, let me show you Zapier first, because Zapier has a much more clear workflow, and then let's go back to Automate, because I do want to show you guys how both works, and I think both are just valid options as well. So I will show you guys how that plays out. So let's go to Zapier, and then I'm going to go to my dashboard, and I'm going to connect basically, I'm going to make a new Zap. And I can connect my Google Calendar into my Notion space, as we mentioned. So Google Calendar is something I'm going to connect into. I've already created a I've already created a connection to my test account. So you see it's already here. So that's perfect. But again, it's the exact same thing. It's going to ask you to connect to a new account if you have that option. And then basically you connect to Google Calendar, you sign in, and then you just give it all the permissions it needs. But let's just say it's already done. I'm going to continue. And I'm going to choose a trigger. I'm going to say for the test at conradlin.com, I'm going to continue that, and then I'm going to test the trigger. So right now if I click test the trigger, let's see if it pulls. So it doesn't pull anything. So let's test it really. I'm going to create a new item for in a few hours from now. I'm going to say new test calendar item. And then I'm going to press save right here. And then I'm actually also going to, I'm going to also add some details into it before I just press done. So let's just do that. So from 11 to 12, I'm going to say new test calendar event. I'm also going to add a description, new awesome event description, and perhaps I'll even add location, just, global, just as a way to show, or maybe Zoom meeting. Okay. So I'm going to press save right here. Perfect. And then what happens in Zapier is I can test the trigger and it'll basically show up in my trigger here. It'll show up there's an event A. So I'm going to press continue because it looks like it pulled the information properly. And then I'm going to go into my action and I'm going to search for Notion. So in this case, choose only the Notion one. This is the official Notion one. And then I'm going to be able to create a database item, update a database item, or find a database item. Again, I'm going to go to simple implementation. I'm going to go to create a new database item. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click continue. And then I'm going to select an account. Again, this time I'm going to connect to a new account because this one matters for a new account. I'm going to connect now into my workspace here. So let's show you how this one works. I'm going to basically show you, let's reconnect this. Perfect. Let's delete this. Connect an account, open that. So basically this one is different. This one is going to show me something called allow Zapier to access your Notion accounts. So this one's an entirely different workflow that I want to show you exactly how this one works. So I'm going to go into here and I'm going to show you exactly how that works. So I'm going to hide that pop-up for now and I'm going to go into my Notion workspace. Again, I'm going to go to the roots of it. I'll expand this sidebar and show you, but basically I go to settings and members. I'm going to go to integrations right here in the bottom. And then I'm also going to develop my own integrations here. I'm going to click on this link right here, develop your own integrations. And then I'm going to create a new integration. I'm going to call this, maybe test workspace integration. I'm associating of the example workspace that I have, right? This one, you can choose any workspace that you actually are an admin for, that you own. You press submit. And then you see an internal integration token, okay? With this integration token, we're gonna click show, and then we can copy and paste that into our workspace. So I'm just gonna show it. I don't mind. This one is it's a test workspace anyways. But for you, please do not show anyone this token. This token will allow them to access your entire workspace. Of course, the pages that you give them access to, but you should ideally keep this secret, okay? Just making sure I'm warning you well in advance. Keep that thing secret, okay? So I'm going to open up again my pop-up, and basically I'm going to paste it into this space right here. I'm going to paste that API key into this space, and I'm going to press yes, continue. And then once I do that, that's it. That's all there is to it. I press that continue. I go back to Zapier. Now it shows me that I'm connected. It says number 2 because I have 2 Notion connections. I was testing it earlier. And I can press continue. And then basically I can set up an action. It's going to say I can choose a database to save it to. But now the difference for Zapier that I like here, and I'm going to see if Automate has this option too. The difference for Zapier is that I'm able to go to a specific page. I can click share, and then I can add the integration for the test workspace integration, which is the one that we know we're using for Zapier. Press that, invite, can edit, and immediately it has access to the success plan. I'm going to go back to Zapier. I'm going to refresh this page because it doesn't show this here, obviously, right? I just gave it the permissions. I'll refresh Zapier, right? And then I'll be able to go back into the second step, which is the step that we had for creating the database item. And I'm able to then choose the database for the specific success plan. You see, it's very simple. And then I'm able to then connect the two entries. I'm going to say, okay, for the name, I want to show the new test calendar event because that's the name of the event. For the description, because I have a description category, I'm going to say it's going to be the new awesome event description. And then for the date that I'm supposed to do it by, the due date, I'm going to find that here. This is going to show me the event. So I want to show the event begins. So it's going to be this due date. And then let's see if it shows up properly, right? And then we might also want to add something in the content as well. And this one's entirely up to you. But let's say you want to add something in the content. Maybe you want to add like, this event is going to be at a certain place. So actually, let's show that. Actually, I like to add it inside the name. Inside the description. Because it makes it easier for me to click on it if I do need to go to that location. So let's say I do description, I do add a dash, and then I say this is where it's going to be, the location. So it's going to show me description dash Zoom meeting. Okay. Or you can add it into anywhere else. It's actually completely up to you. But one thing I want to do here is I actually want to add very specific filters that are going to make sure that it shows up inside my success plan, inside the view that I care about. And the view that I care about is right here inside my Make Life Simple page. And I'll show you how that looks and why I care about that. It's because I want it to show up inside my time block so I can schedule it when I actually need to work on it. So right now the filters for this page is to show tasks that are not complete and the due date is on or on today. So this should be perfectly fine. It should show me today, or tasks that are in progress. Okay. So let's just keep it simple to make this automation work. I am going to make sure that the type is a task. Okay. I get to choose from a drop down. I'm also going to make sure that it shows that my status is going to be in progress, just to make sure that it shows up in here and not complete. And then I'm going to press continue. And then what we can do is we can test this action now. Okay. So if I say test and review, I'm going to click on this, and just to show you that it works, I'm going to go into my Make Life Simple. I'm going to show you that inside my no time block, there's nothing in here, right? Nothing that I just created into here. I'm going to go back into my Zapier, and I'm going to press test and review. Let's see if it works. So the test was successful. Okay, it said it was sent over. So let's see what happened. I'm going to see here. I'm going to see, okay, wait, did anything update? So I'm going to update this by refreshing that, by untoggling and retoggling. And then I'm going to see that there is 3 items in here. There's a new test calendar event. Awesome. So what I want to do is I actually want to drag it now, and I want to drag it to see like when I should work on it. So let's say I drag it, to my block 2 today, and let's open it and let's see what happens. So it shows me the proper date that I need to do this. It's today at 11 a.m. for me. Right now it's the 15th for me already. And then I'm able to actually show like what's the impact of it, of this. Is it high impact, low impact, whatever? What's going to be the tags for it, right? So if I do a new awesome task quest, I can actually show it's going to take me one chunk of 1 hour, 30 minutes, or whatever it might be, right? So basically I can end up actually even saving like how much time it's going to take me for the day. And I'm able to segment it to when I want to work on it and when it's supposed to be, the right thing for me. And of course, when I complete it, right, when I complete a task, I can actually earn the appropriate amount of gold. So if I actually complete this, I earn 50 gold. Simple as that. So I think that's really cool. I wanted to make sure that I got that across. So Alyssa's saying that her Notion doesn't work. What's wrong with your Notion? Let me know what's the issue of yours, and I can see how I can help. Okay. Oh, by the way, I can earn gold right here. Okay, I just want to show you guys. So this is how it works, and that's just a simple integration, right? I will show you how to do multi-step, but again, if you're on the free plan for Zapier, you won't be able to do multi-step every single time because if you aren't paying, you won't be able to do it. So I'll probably show on Automate, but let's go back to Automate and let's see how Automate works, because I want to make sure that Automate still has the options loading for us, because it's a bit frustrating that it doesn't work like that. because as you saw, Zapier worked really, really well, and I want to make sure that we have that as well. I think the answer might be because it's showing every single database inside my system, and that's actually quite stressful on Automate. I have a lot of databases inside the system. As you can see, I can keep scrolling. There's so many different ones in here. So I want to make sure that I actually get all of them. So let's see. So right now it's showing me that all of them are loaded already. That's obviously wrong. So custom value. So right now, I think the easiest way for me to do it is just to find the database ID and enter in here. And the database ID can always be found inside your URL. So inside the link, if you go to the top of your link, I know I'm not showing it right now, but inside the top of your search bar, actually, let me show it. I think it's important. So I'm going to move this down just a tad bit. So inside the search bar right here, you can actually be able to copy this URL, go back to automate.io and paste that in there. And just to make sure it works, and look, it works perfectly. So that's great. Again, that's only if you're not able to find it in the drop-down list, which may happen if you're using a large system like I am, okay? So same thing here. I'm able to then see all the exact same tasks that we had previous, or the same fields that we had previously in the other in the Zapier workflow. So I want to show you guys how you would do an Automate, again, because I do think it's the more superior option if you're complete on the free plan. So for the title of this of the new item, let's go find out where that is. So it's name. So name, I want to pull in information from Google Calendar. So I'm going to find event summary. Again, for description, I'm also going to pull in information from here. So I'm going to see that there is a description here as well. And again, I want to do dash location because I think that's useful for me to put it there. The status is going to be in progress, just to keep it simple for now. Later on, we can do more complex things like, oh, it's ready to start, you know, or whatever like that. And then, of course, we can also make sure that it is a type for task as well. Okay, and then start date, I'm going to add the start date, event begins right here. And then we can also add an end date. So the more superior thing for Automate is adding an end date as well. So let's do an end date, event ends at this time, and let's see how that one plays out. Okay, so again, each one of these tools has their different nuances. You have their different opportunities that you can use it, so that's perfectly fine. Actually, let's not use the due dates, let's use the DO date for us. So we're going to go into DO dates. We're going to click the start date is going to be event begins, and we're going to say event ends here. And then let's see how this works. Okay, I'm going to press save. Let's see how this works. What's happening here? Okay, I need to choose the event. So test@connerland.com, and I'm going to press save. I'm going to turn on this bot, and then I'm going to run a trial. Okay, I'm going to go into here. I'm going to say I want a new event. This one's going to be between 1 and 2 because it's going to be a new event. New Automate test calendar event. Again, I'm going to add a description. It's going to be awesome description here. Remember to bring water. And then here I might do, maybe it's a Google Hangouts instead. Okay, I'm going to click save. When I click save, let's see what happens. So I can test it in two ways. I can go to Automate and I can see if I have a new event added. I think I did it a bit too fast. Maybe it doesn't show there, but let's double check. Let's go here. Let's see. Oh, perfect. It does work. So new Automate test calendar event. You'll see that I have two options here because one option is from the Zapier and one option is from Automate, right? But I can tell which one is from the Automate because I can see that this one has, oh, it's 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. You see, there's another bug here, right? Let's show you this. Ooh. Actually, no. Because showing me UTC time. That's why. Okay. So when you start doing a start date and end dates, you start showing UTC time, which is very interesting, actually. Very interesting stuff. But anyway, if you do start an end dates, you'll see US UTC time. But of course, you can change it back to your time zone. For me, it's Singapore time. So SGT +8. So I'm going to say just type Singapore. And then basically what happens is you might want to change your time slot back again. But anyway, this is the right time for me. But if I do want to show you guys, for example, if there isn't an end time or start time, so let's say I make one that is just normal. If I just change the bot to show only the start time, let's see how that one plays out. So I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to go into my bots, rather. I'm going to go to my bots for Notion, for all Notion integration. Let's move this into the Notion integration folder. And then I'm able to see this one, and I'm able to then go back in and say, okay, I only want to show the start dates, because the end dates, it's going to have an issue for me, because I don't want to show UTC time. I want to show my local time. And let's see if that plays out better. Okay. So I'm going to click save again. This time I'm going to now go back in here and delete my 2 new events, just because I want to be able to start from scratch. Again, go back to my calendar. I'm going to make a new one. Let's say it's going to be between, let's just delete this one, and I'm going to make one in the exact same time slot, 11 to 12, new automate task, or events rather. And then we're going to say again, remember to do XXX, and then the location perhaps is again Zoom. Okay. So I'm going to press save here. Let's see what happens. Again, automate should be automatically done. And I'm able to then go into here, I believe, refresh this. Let's see again, go back to automate. Again, you can see that this is the test process, right? We're able to test it, make sure it works. If it doesn't work, we go back in again and do it again. So I'm going to say done. It's going to check for events added. I think that's for my test to make sure it really does work. So new automate events is right here. Okay, it's showing me again. Okay, so the interesting about automate apparently is that it's showing UTC time depending on your time zone. So it's always going to show you something like this. If you don't like that, maybe Zapier is the right thing for you, but I'm very sure that automate can also do some tweak that allows you to do that. I'm going to be doing a write-up for this, so don't worry. I will have a step-by-step written instructions by the end of this weekend, so stay tuned for that. But essentially what you guys can do is a lot of multi-step workflows into here that allow you to do more and better things with this workflow. Okay, just want to make sure you guys know. And again, same thing as before. If I use the template to have a difficulty number, so let's say this is a 1 hour meeting, it's going to 30-minute meeting. If it's a 1 hour meeting, I'll make this a 2, so it's going to be 1 hour. Maybe this is a high priority for me, a semi-high priority for me. Then I'm able to move this to the right time block I'm going to work it on. And then when I'm done, I just drag it down. I say it's complete. I'm not early. I'm just on time, and I earned 100 gold, which is awesome, awesome stuff. Okay. Simple as that. So that's like probably the most basic implementation I can show you guys. I will show you guys one more implementation just to make sure that you guys get the hang of it, because I think there are a lot of things that you could be doing. One thing is sending an email into either Zapier or Automate and having that automatically create a task for you. Again, something that's pretty cool that I like to do. Another thing is to go through some of the examples that you guys have and kind of just show you guys how it might work. Okay, because I think they're very similar in the way that they work, and I do want to make sure that you guys know exactly how that might play out for you. Okay, so I'm going to breeze right the email one. I will go pretty fast because obviously we now know how to use this. So let's go through the automate one, because I've created this example for Zapier. I haven't created one for automate before, so I am actually quite curious how this works as well. So I create new one. I still have the trigger app. I want to do an email, so it's showing me email here. That when a new email is retrieved, I want to get an email address. So basically, if I send an email to this address, I will show you how that looks. So I send an email to this address. So if I send an email to this address, immediately it would get information from my email to plug into some part of Notion that I care about. Okay. So first I'm going to copy this email address. I'm going to make sure I have that email address somewhere. And then I'm able to go and press I'm done. And then I'm going to go and say, okay, so if I'm able to get information from the name, from the email, from subject, text body, blah, 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 blah. Amazing, whatever. I'm going to go to Notion. And then again, for this example, I'm going to add an item. Again, for you, you might have a new database, you might have your own task management database. That's totally fine. I'm just showing you how it works for our task management database, okay? So success plan is here, finally. I can just drop down. That's perfect for me. Then I'm able to actually go in and say, okay, so the description will probably be, well, first the subject is probably going to be the name, right? So I'm going to go down to name. I'm going to find the subject of the email. Then I'm going to say the due date is going to be something that I will probably schedule, right? Instead of something that I already know when I want to do it. It's probably something I'm going to schedule instead. So what I really want to do is I want to make the status going to be ready to start, okay? I'm also going to make sure that this is a task. Again, I'm just selecting from items that we've already created. And then we have text body or HTML body. We're probably going to use text body, okay? So text body is probably something we want to use. So we're going to go down into the, let's just use the description for this one. So for description, I'm going to also add a text body right here. So then basically when we forward it, we can say what we want to do with it, okay? So basically we have that very simple task. It's ready to start with a text body. And I think we can get started with that. I can make this a bit more complicated. I will show you an example of how to make this more complicated. But for now, let's just make it very nice and simple. Let's turn this on the spot. And then I'm going to go into my email. Oh, I think it's already on. Okay, and then I'm going to go into my email provider, and of course you guys won't be able to see this. I'll just be doing it on my side, but I'll be going to my email provider and making sure that I can log into my email and sending a test email to myself, okay? So let me log in quickly to my email. And I believe I need to get my key with my phone, which is awesome. So let me log into my email very quickly and show you guys exactly how this works. Basically, if I forward any email to that email address that it just showed me, okay, I can put a subject that's say new work task, and then I can say, please do X, then do X, then send email to X, okay? I'm going to send that email to myself. And then basically it's going to tell me if it receives that live data, if it's received that email I just sent. It's going to take a minute or 30 seconds or so, I'm sure, because it does take a little bit of time. Perfect, it said it got it, okay? So I can go back into my dashboard, and instead of the Make Life Simple dashboard, I'm actually going to check a different dashboard now, which is going to be my my daily planning dashboard. And why I'm going here is because I set it so that it would show me something that is going to be a new task that is ready to start instead of in progress. So when I show it here, it shows ready to start. So instead of seeing it already active in something that I have to do, it's something that I can then schedule if I want to do it. So I'm able to open this up. I'm able to see like the description, please do X, then do X, then send emails to X. Amazing. I can open up the active quests, and then I can drag it and start scheduling it to make sure that I can actually start working on it. I can say, okay, it's a new work task. I'll do it today if I want to. And then I can go and do new awesome task. And then I'm able to see, hey, it's going to take me an hour, half an hour, 2 hours. It's really up to you, but essentially it becomes something that ends up staying inside your success plan. So that's super simple as that. And again, also you can see how much gold you earn from it, which is awesome for any motivation kind of field behavior you might have. So cool stuff like that. Okay, so I really wanted to show that. I think that was a really good workflow I wanted to show. And of course, Zapier will be the same thing, almost the same process. So I probably wouldn't show that for you guys. But Basically, what I also want to show you guys is multi-step workflows. And this will probably just take 5 minutes because I think this is something that's, it's just a next step for you to figure out. But let's say again for this new email, right? Let's just say there's this new email. I can also add one more step and I can connect into any single app that I want. I can add any app. Let's say I also want to create a new item in Asana, which is just another tool. Maybe I want to send a Twitter notification whenever I have a new item in Notion. Wherever it might be, you can just do that, right? Maybe you want to also go to ClickUp. Maybe you want to go to Discord, send a Discord notification. So much as Slack, right? You can send to Slack. Really, it's up to you however you want to do it. But the whole point is this is supposed to help you automate your workflows. You can connect anything to anything. And if you have more business use cases, this is probably, a bit more useful. So for example, if I have someone sending me an email saying that, hey, let's collaborate, or hey, I have a question about X, maybe a support email, I can make that immediately make a Notion item for me to work on. So I know that I have a new task that I have to do because I have someone that sends me an email that is, critical, that they have a question about X, Y, or Z. I want to make sure that that's something that's very succinct in your mind, is that you can really connect anything now and the sky's the limit. Of course, again, as a free user of these tools, you have a certain cap, like 300 tasks or something like that. But if you're just using Google Calendars, sending email updates, I don't think you'll go over 300 anytime soon. I really think you'll be getting there pretty easily. So for Zapier, again, similar things, just connect email to database item, and it's just, again, create new database item. Simple as that, really. I don't see anything difficult there to show. I will note that I haven't shown you guys the workflow from the other way around. So if I say that I have a new Notion item, how do I create a new email, a new notification, a new whatever? And I think that's something that you can do, but I personally don't like using this workflow, and let me share with you why. So let's say I go to new bots, right? Let me just stop this and then we'll just start from scratch here. And let's say I create a new bot and I start from Notion instead, okay? Oh shoot, Notion. Okay, so I have to correct myself. Awesome. I love being able to correct myself. So actually on Automate, you have an updated item trigger. If I go to Zapier, you don't have that, which is really interesting, okay? So let me first call this thing first. It's Google Calendar to Notion. But let me show you guys. That's super exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about that. I'm actually really happy about that. That's crazy. Okay, so let me just show you how Zapier works, because Zapier does not have that, and it's been frustrating me like crazy. So if I go to Notion, right? If I go to Notion, it's a trigger. Oop. Notion is a trigger. I can't even use Notion as a trigger. What's happening? Let's see. Let's try this one more time. Notion. There we go. Notion is the trigger. And then I can only select new database item if I want to use Notion. So actually, on this step, I want to say that Automate.io is probably the best option for you if you want to be able to have a new database, if you want to trigger on new database updates, okay? So what I want to show you is if I have a new updated item, okay, I'm super excited now. So let's go into my my page for Success Plan. I want to see only when, okay, so, okay, so I can only see certain things. Okay, let's just play around with this. So I personally haven't tried this yet. So I'm working on the same wavelength as you guys, but I'm super excited because this means something very important. I want to make sure you guys can appreciate. So I'm going to go back into my Make Life Simple page where I'm going to work on things. And then I'm just going to make sure I have a new test item. Again, actually I don't need a test item. I just use any of these items. And then I'm going to go into here and then I'm going to select, I'm going to make a new property that says completed or last modified on. So modified on. And then I'm going to create a last edited time. Okay, because I think that's something I need. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go back to automate. Create a time property is going to be created on. Last edited time property. So I'm going to refresh my page now because obviously it doesn't know that I've just created that item. So again, Notion, updated item, database is I'm going to select the success plan I just had. That's amazing. Success plan item, created on, and then modified on. And then let's see how that plays. So let's see. So I'm going to create an action item. Okay. So one thing that I want to do here is I want to add a filter, ideally. Let's see if I can add a filter. Proceed. Filter. I want to add a filter in between. Continue only if, okay? Only if I have the status, page status is complete, okay? So actually, let me just make sure that's right. Status, okay? Only if status is complete, only that's when I want to move forward to the next step. So that's going to be super, super cool. So let's select an action. Okay. So this action can be anything that you want. You can make it, send an email out to someone. You can make it tweets, right? Maybe you want to be publicly accountable. Or if you're inside our community, we can make it actually send to Guilded, which is super, super cool actually. So let me try that out. I'm going to do a webhook. Oh, it looks like it's a premium action, so maybe I need to pay for that. But I'm just curious. Let me just try a webhook first, and then later on, if that doesn't work, then I'll just I'll do something else. But let's say I make a post data to Guilded. Again, Guilded Discord will be the same thing. Actually, I think Discord is even just, Discord's already something in here. But let's say you did to Discord. That's all I'm talking about. I'm just setting it into a messaging app just to let other people know that I'm finished something. You can do Slack as well. You can do basically anything, okay? But basically what I just want to see is that, am I able to actually connect this into for example, one of the channels inside our community, right? Inside our community, which is going to be our wins and roadblocks. So let me show you guys into that. I'm going to open Guilded. Guys, I'm really so excited because this is from here on out, this is a very unique and specific integration just for our community. But of course, if you guys are interested in that, just join our community. It's totally free. We're here to help. We're here to support you on your growth journey. And I'm super excited to see you guys work on this. Okay, so let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So right now, inside our community page, we actually have a wins and roadblocks page, which basically allows us to send and share wins and roadblocks that we have inside our community. But right now it's a very manual process, and right now what I've been thinking about for a long time is how can I make this automated. Okay, so for me, I'm just going to go into here. I'm going to show settings, and I'm going to create a webhook. So right here, I'm going to create a new webhook. And then I'm going to call this one new community wins. Okay. And I'm going to keep this simple because I just want to show you guys if it works or not. But if this works, that is so cool. That is so cool. So I copied the URL, and basically, if you have any webhooks, this is the same thing. I just want to show you guys how this one specifically works. But again, let's go back to automate, and I'm back into automate, and then I'm going to say for the URL of that Guilded webhook, I'm going to send. If I remember correctly, I need to send JSON. Again, this is where it gets a bit complicated, but I'm just going to check for this. I want to see the documentation for Guilded. Ooh, this is so interesting. I actually already have an integration I've created for another page before on Guilded, so I'm just going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to go into something called Pipedream. Which is just another one of these apps. You don't need to worry about what I'm talking about, but I just wanted to show you guys, for example, how it works. So let's see. So new Type of review. I'm going to open this up and see how this one plays out. Okay, so I need to send an HTTP request. A new HTTP request. It's going to be a post. It's a JSON. Okay, JSON. The data, I'm going to I'm going to paste this, and I'm just going to show a new. I'm going to say here, so new win from, let's see, from someone. So I'm going to say new win from, let's see if I can add something here. Okay, I can search output field. This is so cool. So created by name, I want that. So where's created by? So new win from created by name. The description is I'm going to show something like this. So I'm going to show this right here. I'm going to say that this is the win. So I'm going to click new, and then the page name is something I'm going to show. So right here, so new win from Conrad. The description is the page name, and then I'm going to take out the URL just because I think is not necessarily right now. And then I believe I can also take away the other fields for now because I think this is too complicated for our first test. But once it's done, I'm going to upgrade this. So this is going to be really, really cool, guys. Okay, so color, fields. I'm going to take out all the fields here. And I'm just going to make sure I have enough brackets, all right? So this bracket ends here. So this squiggly bracket, this squiggly bracket, this squiggly bracket goes here to this squiggly bracket. Just like this, and then this whole fields thing ends here. Perfect. Okay, so don't worry, this is where it gets a bit complicated, but I guarantee you the end result is really cool. So stick around to check that out. So awesome. So I'm able to send that content. This should work. If it doesn't work, I will try again, but this should totally work. But I also see that I'm missing a squiggly line. So this is a squiggly right here. I am missing a close square bracket, so I'm going to do that, a close square bracket, and then I think the whole thing is missing a squiggly bracket as well, so let's just do that. Okay, perfect. I think that's it. So this whole thing closes, and then the whole thing closes one more time. Okay, let's just see how that works. I'm curious anyway. And let's click save. And let's see how that works. I'm gonna click a new. Okay, I'm gonna start a free trial here just because I do want to see how this one works. So I'm gonna start a 7-day trial for this, for the personal. And I need to put information here. Okay, anyway, I'm just showing you how this one works. We will most likely also build in our own API connector, and we probably won't be charging for it, or if we do, it'll be very nominal. But for me, because I do want to show this workflow happening, I think this is really cool, and if it works, I'm super excited and happy for it. So let me just put in my card details quickly, and then let's see how it works, okay? But I will just quickly show my face instead of showing my screen for this moment, as I'm able to go in and just put my card details and see how that one works. But really cool stuff. I'm really excited, guys. Really, really cool. So I'm going to just quickly go in here and type in my stuff. So let's go. And then let's go. This is going to be Singapore. And then just type this final thing. Start 7-day trial. Awesome. Perfect. So I'm on the subscription now. I just wanted to try that out. So I'm going back into my bot now just to see it work. I'm going into my Notion integration. Let's see if that worked. Here we go. Notion updated item page. Okay, so only if the page status equals complete, I'm going to send something new. Okay, so let's click save. Let's see how this one works. Let's turn it on. Okay, and then it's going to test using live data. So ideally what happens is if I'm inside here, right? So let's say I had a new item. This was create resume. And let's say I change this from ready to start to in progress. Ideally, nothing happens. Ideally, it's just going to do nothing. It's not going to update anything. It's not going to because the filter stopped, right? It's not complete. I'm only in progress. If I change from ready to start to in progress, ideally this is actually going to trigger and let me know that something happened, but the filter stopped halfway because there is nothing that actually fit the filter of completed item, completed status. So that's perfect. But what we want to do now is to show another example is what if it changes to complete? What if it fully goes to complete? What's going to happen? So let's see what happens here. I'm going to fully move something to complete. Let's see if that changes anything. And of course, I can also open up Guilded and I can see what happens here. Okay, so it's performing the post data now. There might be an error here because I might not have made it properly. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to see the bot activity. I'm going to understand what happened. So the bot ran successfully. Let's see the status. So it only continued because the status was complete, which is awesome. Updated page, updated item happened. My post data also happened. So let's see what happened. Okay, so I got a code 400 because it was an error. Okay, so let's see what happens. So basically the issue was that this one worked, new win worked, but then here this part didn't work. Okay, so this is cool. Let me show you guys what happened here and why that was a problem. Again, you won't have this problem if you're integrating with something that is already well known, like Discord or whatever. Why I'm doing this one specifically is because we use Guilded for our community, and I just want to show you guys this is actually a very cool implementation. So I think it's something worth showing you guys how, if you wanted to manually have an integration, like what you would do. So let me just quickly go into here because I will just update this based on what I already know. So I'm just going to copy a bunch of other stuff that may not be entirely useful right now, but let me just go into here. So page name. So URL is going to show this. Again, I'm just going to show google.com. Well, let's go HTTP, google.com. Color, I'm going to just make a few fields here just because I do want to show other things later on. Value, this is going to be test. When was this completed? Or I can just say closing date. It's going to show me test, or for now I'm going to show 0901 2021 as an example. And then here I'm going to delete this how did you find us. I don't think that matters right now. Again, you'll see that this was the example that I took from our reviews template. So right now, if we get new reviews for the toolbox or new reviews for the community, that sends an invite, that sends a notification into our community. But right now I'm just going to add a footer here. I'm going to say that this one is going to be let's just do closing date again. Or punctuality. We can just add a punctuality value here. Punctuality value is going to be, oh no, text. So the punctuality. And then let's do dash. And then I'm going to add an item here because we do have a punctuality field. So let's see that punctuality field. Punctuality. Where's punctuality? Let's see. Let's try that one more time. Press plus. Oh, that's very interesting. So it doesn't show you any formulas. Formulas doesn't actually show up here. That's something good to know. So formulas won't show up in this drop down. That's really good to know, actually. Okay, but for now, let's just do closing date, because I do have closing date here. So I'm going to press plus closing dates right here. Closing date, start date. And then the footer, maybe we have something like Pomodoros. Pomos. And then we can say, so we can this tomatoes. Tomato emoji, Pomos, and then we can find a difficulty number. So difficulty number. Perfect. And that's going to show that. And then I can just say want to have your successes showcased. Click here to try this out. And then again, I'm just also going to show a Google link for now before I have that link. Perfect. Let's save that. Let's see if that works. Again, I made it a bit more complicated, but ideally that now works much better than before. So I'm going to go from ready to start, in progress, complete, just to go through that whole workflow. And let's see what happens here, okay? It's going to check for an updated item. So let's see if it found out that information. I'm going to, and it might need me to make another item just for now, just because I know that sometimes, for example, for Zapier, excuse me, so I might need me to use another item. But I know for Zapier, for example, like if it's, let's go back to here. So for Zapier, for example, like if you already had an item that was completed, it won't post it again, which I think is a great way to use it. But here, let me go from backlog to complete. Let's see what happens here. So I'm going to test. Oh, ready to start, complete. Let's see if that works. And ideally, it should update. Perfect. So it's performing the data. Let's see the bot activity. So right now, the bot stopped because it said that it was ready to start, so it wasn't complete. Okay, so I'm going to turn on this bot. What's happening? Oh, that's auto retry. Okay, let's go back. So for my bots right now, I think it should be on already. Let me just make sure it's on. So this is on already. Perfect. So this updated item was already on. So ideally, if I just check the activity here, which is what I had here, I can actually see that an item was ran successfully. Let's see how this item ran successfully. And it's still showing me invalid message. Let's see what's happening, okay? So it's because it's showing me the /ends. Oh, the line breaks. Really? That's so interesting. Okay, so nothing happened on Gilded, right? Yeah, okay, perfect. Interesting. I'm trying to figure out what went wrong here, but I probably will need to spend more time to understand this exact process. But basically, if I just substituted, right, any of the items inside this bot to become anything, like send something in Twitter, right, or send something inside any like normal using. So actually, let me just do something normal. Let's build something in between. Let's do something normal. Proceed, new action. And then I'm going to, let's do a Twitter account. Actually, I think Twitter will be very interesting, right? I'll post something to Twitter on the actual Twitter. I'm going to authorize my Twitter account. And then I'm just going to show you guys how Twitter works. And you guys can even go and like the tweet. I think that'll be really interesting, actually. So let's go into here. Let's go into copy, sign in. I'm not showing you the process for signing in there because obviously I am showing you it is quite sensitive, but I'm just going to show you this. I'm going to send a tweet. Okay, I'm going to send a tweet right here. Excuse me. And then let's see if this works. Okay, so if I have a completed item, I'm going to go into here and then I'm going to add a new field that says a new win from Notion, and then we're going to call this one the page name. Okay, And then we're gonna say new win from Notion. And then let's take some space here. This was automated. This is an automated message with the at Notion. Okay, so mentions are not allowed. Okay, so let me go into here. Let me, instead of send tweet, I'm gonna send a tweet to a follower, send at mention to a follower. And I believe Notion follows us, so I think that's fine. So we can do @. So new win from Notion HQ. And then we can do a celebration emoji. Let's do that. And then let's go here and let's say this beep boop. This is an automated API call using the Notion beta API. This is an automated tweet using Notion API beta API. Okay, new win from Notion HQ, and then we can do, for example, Conrad. So page and then we can say Conrad right here. Let's say Conrad. So the person I want created by name. Conrad has just finished, has just marked, has just completed. Perfect. Recurring tasks from Google Calendar to Notion. What kind of recurring tasks do you have, Mike? Let me know what you have, and then we can try that out as well. But in general, like recurring events, you mean? Recurring events might not be able to do, actually. I'm thinking about how to do it. Maybe if you update, we can make a trigger on updates, I think. Yeah, you can make a trigger on updates. I'll show you guys how that works if you're curious. But let me just try this tweet out because I think this is really cool. So new win from Notion HQ, created by name, has just completed. So let's put a task here. So check is going to be a task. Check, let's use this one. So check page name. Okay, beep boop, this is an automated tweet using blank. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Let's see how this one works. I'm, again, super curious to see if this works out well. So I did press save. So it should work now, but let's go ahead and just make sure it works. And I'm not sure if this account that I'm using, this Twitter test account, is followed by Notion, but let's just try it out anyway. I think it's fun. So let me go back to Make Life Simple, and instead of a random task now, I'm going to undo that. I actually want to use a task that matters. So let's create a new task here just randomly. I'm going to say create Notion, create API integration with Notion on live stream. Okay, so let's say that was the thing that I wanted to create. Okay, so right now the task currently, again, all this metadata I'm not going to worry about right now because I think that it's not completely important. What I am going to do is I'm simply going to change the status from backlog to complete, and I want to see how that plays out. Okay, so I'm going to press complete. Let's see what happens. We may have too many items into here, but we'll see. Okay, so I just press complete. Let's see what happens. I should close that so I don't accidentally open that every time. So 12 seconds ago it just ran. No, that's old news. 7 minutes ago. Okay, so it's not running yet. Okay, so let's make sure that it's on. So I'm going back to all bots. No, I want to save. So I'm going back to bots. I guess I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to updated item page. What? Why didn't that work? Oh no, I have to do that again. Sorry about that, guys. Let's do that one more time. Send a message to a follower. Twitter username. Send an @message to a follower, sorry. Okay, let's try again. New Notion HQ Notion HQ. What was what did I use before? New Notion HQ task completed. This is an automated task, automated tweet from the Notion API beta. And then we can say Conrad, so name created by name has just completed, and then we do a check mark, and then we say page name, awesome, celebration. Okay, let's see what's happening here, because right now it's showing me that it's required, but it's not letting me finish this. At mention, it's right here. So why is that not working? If I just send a normal tweet, does that work? It's very interesting. I'm not sure why that's working like that. Like, it's just showing me required, but it's not letting me save, apparently. There you go. Okay, that's saved. Okay, there we go. I'm done. So let's try this again. So this is in backlog, and then I'm going to click this as complete just to try, but obviously normally you should just drag it down to the bottom so it's actually showing the proper completed items. And actually, let me just do that. I think that's better. So I'm just going to drag this as complete right here. Let's see what happens. So I'm earning 50 gold from that. Let's see if that works. I'm going to, it shows me my bot is all good, wonderful, and let's see if it works. Let's see what just happened. So it was stopped on a filter condition. I know I just had a filter condition that was not correct. So let's just go here. I'm going to again drag this down to the bottom. It should show completed as a brand new task. If not, I'll just do it again. I'm going to just spam refresh on this and let's see what happens. Oh, this is so interesting, guys. I'm really curious on how the tweet works. And I'll probably need to actually test if, check if Notion follows us on this account. I know they follow me on my main account, but we'll see. Notion. I think they were one of my first followers, if anything, on this account. I'm just checking that while I'm searching for this. Okay, they don't follow me on this account, so this won't work actually. We'll see. Let's see. So the bot was stopped again on a filter condition, so it shows on backlog, but what I should be able to see is that this is actually able to finish. But in any case, I know that I need to edit this bot because I need to just double check this. I'm going to send a tweet. So it's going to rate limit me 1 every 5 minutes, which is fine. New Notion task completed. And then I'm also just going to show this. So I'm going to click save again one more time. I'm going to check for new updated items. I'm going to drag this into the bottom here. Let's just make sure this works. See bot activity. There's a filter condition again. And let's go here. Let's click this as in progress. Give it like 10 seconds and then click ready to start. Or click completed. Yeah, so just to tell you guys, I think it's generally very simple. It's just when you start wanting to make more complicated stuff, like again, what kind of, like for me, I'm just trying to connect to like Twitter and try to connect to our internal tools like Guilded. For those kind of use cases, I think it's completely up to you how complicated you want to make things. But basically, I just really want to show you guys like the availability of it. Okay, so right now it's showing complete, sorry, in progress rather, so it's not running that. 12 seconds ago. Let's see. So in progress worked. This went to complete. No, not yet. So this was empty before. This went to in progress. I think what I need to do is just make a new one as well. So let's see how that one works. Okay, let's try this one more time. I'm going to make a brand new item. Forget this one. I'm going to make it a brand new item. So I'm going to create a new API integration with Notion on Livestream. This is a brand new item that I'm creating. I'm now just simply going to change status to complete, and I want to see how that plays out. Because I just want to make sure it triggers. If it triggers, that I can troubleshoot everything else. Let's see how this goes. And this is the last thing I'm going to show, guys. So thank you so much for joining me today. I think this has been a really interesting live stream. I will definitely make a proper write-up on this during this weekend. But thank you guys for joining me on this. Like, once we get this tweet going, I think it'll be really cool. So just imagine this, right? Every time someone in the family, if they want to, complete an item, they can share out loud, share it publicly whenever you complete something big. So for me, like, the things I would probably make to be an announcement is probably going to be like quarterly goals, or monthly key results that I finish. And then the things that I'm actually going to keep as my as things that I share only within the community are going to be tasks, right? Things that are just tasks. So you can actually kind of segment it like that, and I think it's really fun, really easy. Okay, perfect, it's done. So tweet was sent successfully. Perfect. So let's see how that tweet looks like. Let's go. Perfect. So if I go to my Twitter, I can actually see that there is a new Notion task completed. Beep boop. Conrad has just completed create API integration with Notion on Livestream. Beep boop. It's so cute. I love it. If you guys want to go and like it, go check that out right here. Check out the tweet. But basically that is going to be how it works, and from now on, here on out, we can do stuff like that. So just imagine that's something that we can do to Twitter. I'm going to figure out how to do it into Guilded. If you are part of our community, and by the way, joining the community is free, just down below, or you can go to co-x3.com. You can basically join our community. You can find out how you can also have your wins automated and showing up on and showing up inside our Guilded space, and just make sure that you guys have a very good way to create multiplayer for personal development, because I think that's something that I really care about. I want to feel like I'm not alone when I'm out there trying to embark on my own personal quests. And yeah, so today, just to recap, I've shown you 3 different ways to integrate with Notion. Of course, you can use 2 tools first, Zapier or Automate.io, to connect into your Notion workspace. I showed you how to do those both. On top of that, I showed you how to create a very simple workflow, how to connect your Google Calendar into your Zapier or into your Automate. Again, I will have a write-up on that as well. And then also more fun, advanced implementations, like being able to connect into your Twitter feed, or being able to connect into other things. And some people has asked questions, how can I connect things like Google Assistant? How can I connect things like like Instagram, right? So just to make sure that I'm fulfilling all those requirements. So if I add a new app, Instagram definitely works here. So check out Instagram. Instagram works on Automate.io. Check it out. Pretty much the same things that we've already shown. I think for Google Assistant, I don't think either Zapier or Automate works, but what you can do, and this is going to be in the advanced class that I'll share most likely, but what you can do here is I can actually create a So I'm pretty sure, let me just check apps. Okay, if I search apps, I'm pretty sure they don't have Google Assistant. Let me just double check. Yeah, no. But what you need is if this and that, IFTTT. Okay, I'm just going to give you some ideas to start. But basically, IFTTT, you can connect with Google Assistant. Once you connect with Google Assistant, you can then tie that in with your with something like Zapier, Automate.io, and then passing that information into there, and then from there passing it into your Notion database, like how we showed you before. So that's something that I can definitely showcase perhaps in another stream, or maybe I'll just make a video on this because I had so much fun building this with you guys today. But definitely, I'm super excited to have this opportunity to build together with you guys. I will do my best to have the write-up out as soon as possible because I know you guys are very eager and very excited to see that. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been a wonderful time. Again, if you want to play around with this with us, just join us in the community. I'll be building on this live in the community right after this. Actually, I'll be sharing my screen there, so join me there if you want. Links in the description or links in the chat. I will put it in there just for you if you need that. Join.coex3.com. But other than that, thank you guys again so much for joining us. Have a wonderful week ahead. And if you want me to do more fun API stuff, let me know in the comments below.